Okay, now let's visit the second most populated city in the world, Istanbul, Turkey. It's located right here. Let's go ahead and zoom in on so we can get a better look. Istanbul has almost 14 million people living in it. And here we have access to a webcam that this shot was taken at 6:25 a.m. there, and right there, it is, I guess, morning traffic people going to work, and that is technically tomorrow, um, April 15th. Let's also look at the weather. Remember, keep in mind we're discussing why Istanbul would be a very populated city. So we see that they've got a rush hour traffic just like other big cities. Here we can see the weather coming up for today, tomorrow, and Wednesday. I guess our tomorrow. Um, so not necessarily the warmest temperature, but they get enough rain, so a good amount of moisture falls there. Let's zoom back out like we did with Shanghai and zoom out a little bit. Istanbul is not necessarily known for its huge buildings, so we're not going to look at those for this city. But let's take a step back and look at Istanbul and see how its location might affect um, its population. As you can see, Istanbul is located right here, right on the border on one side of the Sea of Marmara, and on the other border, is the Black Sea, a much bigger sea. How then does Istanbul's location relate to the location of Shanghai, China? Very good. It's in close proximity to a lot of water. How then does its location or its proximity to water affect its population? What do you think? How does its proximity to water affect its population? Well, like Shanghai, Istanbul gets a lot of its commerce because of its close location to water and its easy access to water. Let's take a look at this. If, say, someone living in Istanbul decides, I'm gonna start a business. If they want to find a good location to put that business, someone might consider, oh, let's put it close to the water so that we can ship it out easily. Put it on a ship and get it to whatever country wants to pick it up. If you live in Istanbul, you can have easy access to either the Black Sea or the Sea of Marmara. Because, look, how cool is this? Istanbul and Turkey are cut right in half by a body of water. That means that if Istanbul wants to trade with someone over here, to its northeast, it can get right over there, no problem. It doesn't have to put it on trucks, puts it on one boat, and that same boat takes it all the way across the Black Sea. Same with anyone living over here, they have the same access to the Sea of Marmara. Now, I know the Black Sea might be somewhat popular, but we might not have heard of the Sea of Marmara. But because the Sea of Marmara is there, look at the access to Istanbul has. Say someone starts a business, like we said, in Istanbul, they want to sell something, they make that product, they put it on a boat, and they sail through the Sea of Marmara. That gives them access then to some Middle Eastern countries, where they can get in here a little bit. But look, you can see that they can cut right through this little strip of water right here, which then gives them to this access to the Aegean Sea. Then the Aegean Sea opens up into the Mediterranean Sea, a much bigger sea, and the Ionian Sea. Now, just by using these little straits of water, that person that is shipping things out of Istanbul now has access to southern and much of Western Europe. Also have access to a good amount of Middle East, Northern Africa like Egypt and Libya, Southern Europe like Italy, Eastern Europe like France and Spain, And then look at this right here, this Strait of Gibraltar right here. This bit of water right here, then cuts that person through all the way out to the Atlantic Ocean. Then once they get to the Atlantic Ocean, they've got trade with North America, South America, Northern Europe. I mean, they've got access to basically the world, all because of its location. Now, what happens, let's say hypothetically, that there's a drought or there's some kind of earthquake, and this strait right here closes up. Right here, let's say it closes up right here. How does that affect Turkey? And how does that affect Istanbul, the city of Istanbul? I think that if that closes up, I mean, they can still trade with people over here in more Eastern Europe. I think I said Western Europe, Eastern Europe. But that's about it. I mean, you don't have nearly as many people living over here in South Ukraine and Moldova as you do in Italy and Germany and France and Spain, and then all the way over in North America, South America. So they still have some trade available to them. Maybe even some of these Middle Eastern countries and over in Georgia and Armenia. But other than that, they really get cut off a lot. And honestly, I think that once that trade gets cut off, these people here in Istanbul, they gotta move. They start running out of jobs. Companies need to relocate, and things really change a lot for them. Now, like we did with Shanghai, let's talk about the culture found in Istanbul, Turkey. And here I would watch a video on the music and dance in Istanbul, and then we have a discussion about the differences and similarities between the culture there and the culture here. So I'm going to go something like this. So after watching these videos, how does the dance and the music of Istanbul relate to the dance and the music of the United States? Like we talked about Shanghai, Shanghai and Istanbul are much older countries and much older cities, than the cities found in America. Even the oldest cities in America are not nearly as old as these cities. So the dance and the music of these cities is much more traditional, much more based on old cultures, things that people did way back in many years before people even thought about coming to the Americas. As you can see, the instruments are much different than what we hear. The pace of the music is different, and the purpose of the music is different. Like in Shanghai, people in Istanbul also dance to show respect to higher authorities, not necessarily something that we do here in America. So as we can see, the dance and the music is definitely a bit different. There are similarities between our music and their music, and our dance and their dance, but there's a lot of differences. So that is Istanbul, Turkey, located right here with great access to a lot of water. Now, for our last stop, let's go to Karachi,